trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real.
If Mandami is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically for that.
It's official. The socialists have pushed their way deep into the Democratic Party, and Donnie's election as New York's mayor just made that impossible to deny. Even the party's longtime power players are beginning to warm up to his bold, hard-left agenda, and that spells serious trouble for the DNC. That's where Bill Maher steps in, almost like a reluctant savior, warning the party about how it lost its footing and how it might still claw its way back. Let's break it all down.
This is Mandami, if you've been not following the news. He won the Democratic primary in New York, so he is certainly likely to be the next mayor. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of opposition because we've never had someone this radical. Some of the things he says, prisons were obsolete. What purpose do they serve? I could think of a couple. The NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. I think most people think cops are protecting their public safety, even though there's issues and problems with the police department. Do you like capitalism? No. We've never had a guy quite like this. You know, he quotes Marxist, each according to their need. I mean, that's straight up communism. Whether you call it the abolition of private property, you call it housing guarantees, it's preferable to what is going on right now.
Maher saw it coming long before anyone else. Months before the election, he was already sounding the alarm about Mamdani, and something tells me that warning is going to age like fine wine. He spotted the red flags early, just like he always does. This isn't the first time Maher's instincts have been dead on. Remember when he warned the DNC not to run Kamala Harris for president? They brushed him off, convinced they knew better, and it led to one of the most embarrassing defeats in modern political history. It's like the party can't stop stumbling over the same mistakes again and again. Maher's no prophet, but he has a sixth sense for political disaster, and if his record is anything to go by, Monty's meteoric rise might just be the opening act in the DNC's next slow-motion collapse.
I mean, just the phrase abolition of private property, not something we usually hear in America.
There's always a villain. There's always people. They always try to create a villain. Is my point. They always try to create some boogeyman or boogie.
No.
If it wasn't this one, it was going to be somebody else.
I'm not creating anything. I'm
not defending the policies. There are plenty of things that I disagree with there, and that I don't come down on.
You're going to have to answer everything like this. They're going to ask every single Democratic politician.
But the point being, we see this every cycle. I've now been doing this long enough to know that every single cycle, there's some, contrived villain or boogeyman.
This guy completely missed Maher's point, and you can see it all over Maher's face. That mix of disbelief and barely contained irritation. Nobody is trying to turn Mamdani into some kind of boogeyman. We've said it over and over on this channel. He doesn't need any help looking extreme. His own words and policies take care of that. Every warning Maher sounded about New York's new mayor wasn't spin or exaggeration. It came straight from Mamdani's own playbook. When a politician openly challenges the core of American capitalism, people are going to notice, and they should. Maher isn't attacking him. He's holding up a mirror, forcing the left to confront what it doesn't want to see. And if Mamdani ends up looking like the villain, that's not Maher's doing. That's just a reflection talking.
And if it wasn't this
He's
one,
not contrived. He's going to be the mayor of New York.
The thing that I find the most appalling, which is that he defends the expression globalize the intifada.
Yes.
Everything that the crazy far right alleged about Barack Obama, wasn't born in America, right. Islamist, socialist, right. Anti-Semite, hates America. It's all true about this guy.
Right.
Okay? It is all true about this guy. And the fact that this man is on the verge of becoming the mayor of the second largest Jewish city in the world is very frightening. And I'm actually really disappointed that more Democrats have either, are not coming out and condemning him and saying we're not going to endorse this guy because he is beyond the...
Maher saw it coming before the votes were even counted. He knew Monty would win, and he warned that the victory could spell real trouble for the Democratic Party. Capitalism isn't perfect, but the socialism the left romanticizes can stifle innovation, kill jobs, and expand government control. Maher gets it. This is in progress. It's a slow unraveling. And if the DNC doesn't wake up soon, its future could slip away.
Republicans are not that, they don't, democracy is just not number one on their list. It just isn't. It isn't. It's behind Christianity and a few other things. And the Democrats, I mean, I read these 74% are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this?
And that's exactly how Mamdani, with his Marxist lines and openly socialist agenda, rose to the top of the DNC ticket. The Democrats aren't just flirting with socialism anymore. They're embracing it. What used to be a balance between moderates and progressives is now driven by self-declared socialists who see capitalism as the enemy. This isn't about fixing the system. It's about replacing it. And while the old guard pretends nothing's wrong, reality is catching up. Mamdani isn't the end of the storm. He's a warning shot of movement that could reshape the DNC entirely.
Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this? If Mandami is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically for that.
No, this isn't good for the party, and it's definitely not good for America. With Monty rising in the East and Katie Porter gaining power in the West, the Democrats are heading into dangerous waters. This isn't just a political shift. It's a potential national crisis. America works best when both major parties stay balanced and grounded in real ideas, not ideology. The Democrats need to return to pragmatism and principle instead of chasing failed socialist slogans. If they don't, this spiral won't just weaken the party. It could shake the political balance that keeps American democracy steady.
New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think that the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time.
Maher believes Mamdani's election practically guarantees a GOP win in the next national race. And he might be right. Middle America isn't buying the socialist experiment. They trust capitalism not because it's perfect, but because they've seen how badly heavy government control and endless redistribution can fail. Socialism sounds noble, but in practice it brings higher taxes, fewer jobs, and no incentive to innovate. If the DNC keeps drifting left under leaders like Monty, it won't be competing with the GOP. It'll be handing them the victory. Maher isn't fear-mongering. He's forecasting. And if history means anything, it's a warning Democrats can't afford to ignore.
It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
I think the Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela, just bad idea.
Maher once warned that nominating Kamala Harris would hand Trump the presidency, and he was right. Now he's sounding the same alarm about Mamdani, predicting his rise could spark a GOP landslide in 2028. Critics are dismissing him again, but Maher has a track record for spotting political disasters before they hit. He understands voters and their distrust of the far left. Ignoring him once was a mistake. Ignoring him twice could be political suicide. If the DNC doesn't learn from history, it may end up gifting the White House back to the GOP.
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let's be clear. Names like Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, and AOC didn't become controversial because of GOP smear campaigns. They built those reputations themselves. Pelosi went from powerhouse speaker to a symbol of ethical concerns after massive stock profits made while leading Congress. Newsom turned California into a cautionary tale of homelessness, high costs, and residents fleeing the state. And AOC, the face of modern woke politics, delivers more performance than policy. These critiques weren't invented. They were earned. When politicians repeatedly betray public trust, calling out isn't demonization. It's accountability. And that's exactly the point Maher has been making all along.
This must be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mandami, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, you know, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
That's right. Even some socialists know their ideals don't work in the real world. Yet they rebrand socialism with buzzwords like equity and social justice. Different labels, same failed system. History shows that socialism leads to economic ruin and government overreach, while capitalism, imperfect though it is, drives innovation and lifts people out of poverty. If the left wants credibility, it needs to embrace pragmatic capitalism. Maher's warnings aren't just political sound bites. They're reality checks. Socialism fails wherever it's tried, and the DNC can't afford to ignore that lesson.